Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again with one more video lecture for class 6. Dear students, in the previous lecture I have discussed about the aquatic animals, how those aquatic animals have adapted themselves to their environment, how they adapted themselves. In this lecture we will discuss about the aquatic plants, how those plants which live in water have adapted themselves. First of all, we should know what are hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are plants that live in water. Hydrophytes, these are those plants which live in abundance of water. These are those plants which live in abundance of water. Or we can say those plants which live in wet places. Those are known as hydrophytes. Those hydrophytes are either partially or wholly submerged in water. We can say here that those plants are either partially or those plants are completely submerged in water when they are found in abundance of water. Okay, when they are in wet places, their roots and rhizomes, the roots which are present in aquatic plants or the plants which live in water, and their rhizomes, they are exposed to sufficient water. Those plants, those roots and the rhizomes of those plants are exposed to sufficient water. How those plants, aquatic plants, those live in water, what are the adaptations that are shown by those plants? Plants found in flowing water. The plants which are found in flowing water, like streams, have long and narrow stems. Those plants have long and narrow stems. Their leaves are ribbon-like. The leaves in those plants which are found in flowing water, their leaves are ribbon-like. Okay, it makes it easy when the leaves are ribbon-like. They ribbon-like leaves that make it easy for those plants to float in the water current. To float in the water current. These ribbon-like leaves makes it easy for those aquatic plants to float in water current. Plants like water lily and lotus, which grow close to the surface of water. Water lily and lotus, they grow close to the surface of water, have waxy layer on their leaves. Those plants, water lily and lotus, have waxy layer on their leaves. This does not allow water to sit on the leaves. That waxy layer that does not allow the water to sit on the leaves and protects them from damage caused by the water. And this waxy layer that are present on the water lily and the lotus, on the leaves of the lotus, that protects those plants, protects water lily, protects lotus from damage caused by the water. The damage caused by the water. This is the second adaptation shown by the plants living in water. Third, the leaves of those plants which are found in water bear the stomata on the upper side of the leaf blade. Generally, we know that the stomata, those are the small pores, they are on the lower side of the leaves, but in aquatic plants, those stomata, they are found on the upper surface of the leaves. Those stomata are found on the upper surface of the leaves in aquatic plants, but in rest of the plants, the stomata are found in the lower side of the leaves. Stems of all the water plants have air spaces. Dear students, all the water plants have air spaces in the stems. Air spaces in the stems. This helps the plant in floating. When air spaces are present in the stems, in those spaces air is present. That air gives buoyancy to the plants, due to which these plants float on the water. These plants float in the water, such as lotus, those have air spaces in those stem. Water lily, those have air spaces in their stem, and rest of the plants which grow in water have air spaces in their stem, and in these air spaces air is present. That air gives buoyancy to those plants, due to which those plants float in the water. The roots of the aquatic plants are not of much use. The roots of the aquatic plants are not of much use. They are highly reduced. They are highly reduced. This is one of the adaptations shown by the aquatic plants. Dear students, plants on the coastal areas grow on very thick muddy land. In muddy land, water is present, but the concentration of the water is not too much high. But the muddy land have water and present in them. These plants are mostly mangroves. Those plants which grow in the muddy land says are mostly mangroves. Those plants are mostly mangroves. Mangroves have roots in muddy soil which holds the soil and protects it from soil erosion on the coastal areas where frequent and fast wind blows. On the coastal areas there is frequent and the fast wind that continuously blows. These mangroves have roots in the muddy soil. Those roots protect that soil from the soil erosion. When these roots are completely embedded in that muddy soil, that allows mangroves have roots in the muddy soil which holds the soil and protects it from soil erosion. These mangroves they are found in the areas where frequent and fast wind blows, and the roots of those mangroves that holds the soil together and protects the soil from soil erosion. The roots of mangroves cannot get any air due to thick mud. The roots of the mangroves cannot get any air due to thick mud. Due to thick mud, the roots of the mangroves does not get any air. So they grow special kind of roots called breathing roots. So in those mangroves there are special types of roots. Those roots are called breathing roots because in those mangroves plants due to thick mud they cannot get any air. The roots grow out vertically in the air. These breathing roots grows out vertically in the air. The branches of the mangroves also grow still roots for the support. The branches of the mangroves also grow still roots for their support. These are the adaptations which are shown by the plants which living in water, or we can say which are shown by the plants which grow in water, or we can say which are shown by the hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are those plants which grow in water. Due to thick mud they cannot get any air, so they have breathing roots present in them. These breathing roots grow vertically in the air, and the branches of those mangroves also grow stilt roots for their support. These stilt roots are used, or we can say they have the function to support the mangroves plants.